Welcome to Caching Waves. This is your Elliott Wave update for ICP. I'm out on a 4-hour. Just wanted to show you our 5-wave impulse to the upside. We hit all standard Elliott Wave targets. But the important thing I wanted to discuss, if you're new, is the fact that we are in a larger correction, correcting this entire move. And we expect it to take quite a bit of time, at least out till February, the end of February, to complete. So expecting a lot of chop in this area. There are trades available, but they're more of scalps than swing trades. And I got to discuss the couple options here, because if you're not experienced, it can get pretty frustrating. One is my primary, which I want to play out here, is we get a higher B wave and challenge the previous high of the 5th wave. And depending how high we get, we'd expect, if we get a running flat, which means we make a higher high, we'd expect a higher low and protect this A wave. But if we don't go past the 5th, we would come back and just get past the A wave. Basically the one-to-one extension of this first A wave wherever the B ends. But to keep this market quite bullish, we want to find support at the previous 4th wave to keep this all intact and as bullish as possible. Now, one thing I need to discuss, which I showed in last video, is this WXY, which would have the top already in. And this is our 3-wave move. I'll show you on the 15-minute how that looks in a moment. But if the top is in and we make new lows directly from here, our one-to-one extension of our WX for our Y is at 866. That's if we directly fail right now. And there is one other alternative which has us going lower than that, and that is if our A wave is correct in red, our B wave can actually be complete. I'll show you that on the 15-minute. And if that's the case, we'd expect the one-to-one target from here direct, and we'd come lower to around 802, which I hope does not happen, because we'd most likely break this 4th wave low. And we want to keep our support at that 4th wave ideally. It doesn't mean we're not going to be bullish after this is complete. I expect new highs. It's just the higher the better. So we'll go down to the 15-minute. And during that WXY or the B already complete, the reason why I mention that is if this is actually a complex structure where we get a WXY and this isn't a diagonal, we have hit the one-to-one extension. Or sorry, the 618 extension right here off this wave for this wave. Minimum requirement to consider complete is the 618, which we have tagged. Now it's just a guideline. Usually I like to see the one-to-one, but I just need to make you aware of that possibility. And if we do fail, early indications would be breaking this low at 11.23.8 according to Binance, and obviously past the 618 of this move to the upside. So not a lot of room, and should get a clear view of what's happening. But how do we stay bullish? As of right now, I'd like to see a pivot go right now. Kind of a microstructure compared to this as a fractal, similar. We have hit the one-to-one extension. If this is a flat pattern as an A, B, C at 1181, I'm currently in this. Stop is at this low. And if we fail, I'm waiting for those lower prices. But this can be counted a couple different ways. It's tough when there's a lot of overlap, but I do have it as a diagonal potentially. In these sort of overlapping structures, if it's a diagonal, you can get single, double, or triple zigzags for each wave. So keep that in mind. So there's literally a triple zigzag here for our 3rd and a double for our 5th. So we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we bottom. So if our bottom is in, again, if our bottom is in, I'm not saying it is. What do we have here? This would have to be a diagonal as a series of ABCs. And this would most likely be our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're in a sideways consolidation right now. Ideally, we hold above the 786 in a diagonal. 618 ideal, but as long as we hold above the 786, I'm okay with that, which we're right at that zone now. So we want to see it start to move right now, similar to this previous one. It's a pretty good fractal right here. So we'll see what we get, and if this is in play, our target right now, I have to adjust it a little bit to the upside. If we make lower lows, we have to adjust this, but if the bottom is in, my target for our B wave complete is at 1608 on log scale and 1525 on linear. I usually go with linear for taking profits, unless the microwave count tells me otherwise. All right, guys, so that's what I'm looking for, this B wave to come up, C wave after. If we break this previous pivot, remember, we would consider this actually a B wave or an X wave and expecting lower lows. That's our line in the sand, if you will. Now, there are other ways we can move upside, but I don't want to get into it and overcomplicate everything. But just simply, if you're into Elliott Wave, it would be more like this is a 3-wave. We're working on a 3-wave, and we look for a 3-wave, like so. All right, guys, that's it for ICP. Hopefully this wasn't too complicating. If it's too complicating, you're welcome to ask me any questions you'd like. Make sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.